Hi, welcome to Future Technos. Today we are talking about Nikon and the two cameras that everyone is waiting for, the Nikon Z90 and the Nikon Z7 III. Both of these cameras are shaping up to be very important in Nikon's lineup. One is aimed at the APS-C market and the other at the high-resolution full-frame world. Together, they tell us a lot about Nikon's strategy and where the company is heading. Let's start with the Nikon Z90. This camera is one of the most talked about rumors in the Nikon community right now. Many people believe it will be the true successor to the legendary Nikon D500. That camera was loved by wildlife and sports shooters. It was fast, reliable, and powerful for its time. But since Nikon moved into mirrorless, there has not been a clear replacement for it. The Nikon Z50 and ZFC were fun cameras, but they did not carry that same professional edge. The Nikon Z90 is expected to fill that gap. Reports say the Z90 might have a 33-megapixel APS-C sensor. That would be a big step up from the 20 megapixels of the D500. It would also put it directly against Canon's EOS R7, which has the same resolution. More megapixels mean more detail, which is especially useful for wildlife shooters who crop heavily into their images. Having that resolution in APS-C format gives extra reach, and many Nikon users have been asking for this exact combination. The autofocus system is also expected to be a huge leap forward. Nikon has already shown with the Z9 and Z8 that its autofocus has become one of the best in the industry. The Z90 will likely use a scaled-down version of this system. That means subject detection, tracking for birds, animals, cars, and people. It would be a big improvement compared to older Nikon APS-C cameras. For sports and wildlife shooters, this will make all the difference. Frame rates are also important here. The D500 was known for its speed, and the Z90 is expected to continue that tradition. Some rumors suggest 15 frames per second with the mechanical shutter, and possibly 30 frames per second with the electronic shutter. If Nikon manages this, it would be a game-changer for APS-C. Photographers who rely on speed will finally get the mirrorless body they have been waiting for. Another big feature will be in-body image stabilization. Unlike the Z50 and ZFC, the Z90 is expected to have IBIS. This is essential in today's market. It helps with handheld shooting, both for stills and video. Canon's R7 already has strong stabilization, so Nikon cannot leave this out. For wildlife shooters who use long telephoto lenses, even small improvements in stability are critical. When it comes to design, Nikon will likely focus on a rugged, weather-sealed body. The D500 was known for durability, and Nikon shooters expect the same in a high-end DX mirrorless. A deep grip, large buttons, and a tough build would make it stand out from the Z50 and ZFC. Many users are also hoping for a fully articulating screen, not just a tilting one. For hybrid shooters who also record video, this flexibility is important. Storage options will also matter. The Z90 is rumored to include dual card slots, one CF Express and one SD. This would be the first Nikon DX body with such a setup. It would allow fast shooting with reliable backup, which is important for professionals. The D500 had this advantage, and it helped photographers trust it for critical work. Battery life will also be a point of focus. Mirrorless cameras often struggle with shorter shooting times compared to DSLRs, but Nikon has been improving efficiency with its newer cameras. If the Z90 can offer solid endurance, it will help build trust among sports and wildlife shooters who need long days in the field. Price is another interesting question. The Canon R7 launched at $1,500. Nikon will likely position the Z90 a bit higher, maybe between $1,700 and $1,900. This would reflect its pro-build quality and stronger autofocus. Still, it would remain far cheaper than full-frame bodies while delivering excellent performance. Of course, the biggest challenge for Nikon and APS-C is lenses. Right now, the DX lens lineup is very limited. Most shooters will end up using full-frame FX lenses on the Z90. That's not a bad thing. But it means the camera will feel more like a companion to Nikon's full-frame system rather than a fully independent platform. For example, wildlife shooters may pair it with the 400mm or 600mm S-line lenses to get that extra reach. The Z90 may push Nikon to finally expand its DX lens range, but we will have to wait and see. Now let's move to the Nikon Z7 III. This camera will be the next generation of Nikon's high-resolution full-frame line. The Z7 and Z7 III were known for their detail and dynamic range. They were loved by landscape photographers, studio shooters, and anyone who needed maximum resolution. But competition has grown tough. Sony has the A7RV with 61 megapixels, and Canon has the EOS R5 with 45 megapixels and strong video. The Z7 III will need to raise the bar. The most exciting rumor is that the Z7 III may use a 61 megapixel BSI sensor, possibly the same one found in the Sony A7RV. If this is true, Nikon users will finally have access to one of the most advanced sensors available today. That resolution would make the Z7 III a dream for detail-oriented shooters. Landscapes, architecture, and commercial work would all benefit. Cropping power would also be massive, giving flexibility in post-processing. But the Z7 III will not just be about stills. Video is expected to improve dramatically. Rumors point to 8K video at up to 30 frames per second, possibly with a slight crop. Oversampled 6K video is also expected, along with 4K at up to 120 frames per second. Nikon has already proven with the Z8 and Z9 that it can handle advanced video features. The Z7 III will bring some of this technology to a more affordable body. Another big point is heat management. Canon faced a lot of criticism when the R5 first launched due to overheating in 8K and 4K HQ. Nikon has been careful about this. The Z7 III is expected to have better cooling than previous models, allowing longer recording times. This will make it more reliable for professional video work. Autofocus will also see a major upgrade. The Z7E was good, but not at the level of Sony or Canon at the time. With the Z7 III, Nikon is expected to bring in the latest subject detection powered by AI. This means it will track people, animals, and vehicles with much greater accuracy. It will likely use a similar algorithm to the Z8 and Z9, which are already praised for their speed and reliability. Stabilization will also improve. The Z7 III may offer up to 8 stops of in-body image stabilization. This would be huge for handheld shooting, especially at high resolutions where even the smallest shake can reduce sharpness. Pairing this with Nikon's already sharp S-line lenses could deliver outstanding results. The shooting speed is another area of progress. The Z7 III topped out at 10 frames per second. The Z7 III may reach up to 20 frames per second with electronic shutter. That's impressive for such a high-resolution camera. It shows how far sensor and processor technology have come. Speaking of processors, the Z7 III is expected to use dual Expeed 7 processors. This is the same chip used in Nikon's flagship Z9. It allows much faster data handling, which is needed for high-resolution stills and advanced video. It also supports better autofocus performance. For users, this means less waiting and more shooting. Build quality will remain strong. The Z10 III will likely use a magnesium alloy body with full weather sealing. Nikon has always been known for durable cameras, and the Z7 III will continue this tradition. The handling is also expected to improve, with a deeper grip and refined button layout. The screen will also get an upgrade. The Z7 III may use a 3.2-inch 4-axis tilting LCD. This design combines the flexibility of a vari-angle screen with the stability of a tilt screen. It's great for photographers who need different angles without sacrificing strength. The viewfinder will also be upgraded to a 5.76 million dot OLED with high brightness and smooth refresh rates. This will make composition more comfortable for long sessions. In terms of price, the Z7 III is expected to launch between $3,500 and $3,800. That's higher than the Z7 III, but lower than the Z8. It makes sense, because Nikon wants to position this camera between the mid-range and flagship levels. It will compete directly with Sony's A7RV, which sits at a similar price point. So where does this leave Nikon? The Z90 and Z7 III represent two different strategies. The Z90 strengthens Nikon's APS-C lineup, giving users a powerful tool for speed and reach. The Z7 III focuses on resolution and hybrid video for professionals. Together, they cover both ends of the market. Nikon is showing that it listens to its users. Wildlife shooters wanted a D500 replacement, and high-resolution shooters wanted a modern Z7. Now both groups may finally get what they've been asking for. These cameras also show Nikon's confidence. The company is not just trying to catch up with Sony and Canon anymore. It is setting its own direction. With cameras like the Z8 and ZF, Nikon has proven it can innovate and also respect its heritage. The Z90 and Z7 III continue this pattern. One pushes speed in APS-C, the other pushes detail in full frame. In the end, both of these cameras will be important not just for Nikon users, but for the camera industry as a whole. They will give photographers and filmmakers new options. They will also push competitors to respond, which means more innovation.